Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we are going to be going over all of the spending that happened in the final week of February. I've actually gone ahead and written everything in already, and we're just going to kind of categorize and add everything up together. We're also going to flip to my transaction log for my sinking funds and fill the rest of that in. We're going to calculate everything for everything I spent from my sinking funds and all of that and close that out. And we're going to close out my February budget. So there's a lot to get to in this video. I'm going to try to make it as quick and easy breezy as possible. For now, let's go ahead and go through all of my expenses for the last week of February. Now, I just said we were going to go over all of my expenses, and actually, that's a fib, because this is everything I spent from our typical monthly budget. I spent more than this. I also spent money from sinking funds, and I spent some tax money. So we did go and get our taxes prepared over the weekend. We discovered that we are in fact getting a tax refund, which is very nice. It's not a large one, but it's still money that we can use in our budget, okay? So I'm excited about it. And also it meant that I get to keep all of the cash that I had set aside throughout 2021 for my business taxes. My husband's withholdings covered everything that I owed, so that money is mine to do with what I please. So we spent some of that here and there. I actually decided not to track it just because, I don't know, I wanted to have a little bit of fun with it. We did some eating out. I put a large majority of that cash, though, aside so that I can do something pretty important with it, which I'm excited about. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna pay some debt, so be on the lookout for my debt update coming soon. But yeah, I didn't track any of that. I didn't want to include it in my monthly budget because it was separate from that, and I didn't want to create its own budget because like I said, the large majority of that is just going to go towards paying debt and savings. So that's what I did. This is what I need to keep track of for my February budget, so this is what I went ahead and wrote in. So let's go over all of these expenses really quick, and then I will pull in my highlighters and we'll categorize everything and get everything kind of filled in and closed out for February. So first up, we went to the grocery store on the 22nd and just picked up a couple of things. I knew that I was nearing the end of my grocery budget, so I just picked up a couple things, nothing too major. I did go on a second kind of Walmart trip here kind of at the end of the week, but I didn't track that because that was part of that money that I took from the tax withholdings, so that's not here. But I did go and pick up some Weight Watchers friendly foods, and I also picked up some clothing pieces for working out, going back to the gym, that sort of thing. So that's not here. That did happen, but I don't need to count it for this month. It's kind of a gray area, right? And I am okay with it. Do what works best for you. So then for the 24th, I had our State Farm bill come out. That was $174. We went out to eat with some friends. We had Austin's high school orientation meeting. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's hard to believe that my little baby is going to high school next year. But then we went after that meeting to Applebee's with some friends. We spent $50.86. On the 26th, we went to Tim Hortons. This was after we had our taxes prepared, and I went ahead and got a coffee from there. So that was eating out, and that was $3.55. We also filled up my gas tank that day, and it cost $39 to fill us up. This was a miscellaneous expense here. My husband spent this, $3.70. And then we had my progressive bill come out. That was $21.52. That's my husband's motorcycle insurance. And we had Netflix come out for $15.49. So that was all of the kind of spending that I'm going to track for our monthly budget. Let's go ahead and get these things highlighted. I've got my highlighter for bills, which I'm going to need. Oh, also, I did it again, you guys. I gotta add spending. So we pulled out this cash for our spending money, and it was a total of $100. It was $40 for myself, $40 for my husband, and $20 for my son's allowance. So we're gonna use purple to track the spending. We didn't have any household expenses. We had grocery. We had eating out. Was that it? Bills, grocery, eating out. Oh, gas. That is here. All right, let's get these highlighted and filled in. So we'll start out with grocery, which is this gold. We just had the one transaction, so that's easy math. For groceries this week, we spent $32.87. Okay, so I think that means we're going to come in under budget for groceries overall. Woohoo! Bills was $174 for State Farm. Let me pull in my calculator and add this up as I go. And then we had Progressive for $21.52. Netflix for $15.49 for a total of $211.01 in bills. I believe that's all of our bills. I'll have to check my hybrid budget worksheet here momentarily, make sure everything got paid. So bills, $211.01. Eating out, you guys, our eating out budget has been blown for weeks now. We'll do better with eating out in March, I think. So we had 50.86 plus 3.55. That's $54.41 for eating out. Okay. Then we had just one gas transaction. We did really well, I think, with our gas budget this month, which is nice because gas prices keep going up and up and up. Then we had miscellaneous. For $3.70. And lastly, we had that spending in cash. I'm going to continue to do our cash, or our spending in cash in April, I think. Or in March, rather, because that worked out really well this month. That was 100. So let's just get a total here really quickly. $440.99. Not too shabby. So what I'm going to do then is pull this expense tracker right out so I can use it for reference while I fill in my hybrid budget worksheet here. And we are looking at, well, we're going to look at week 4 in a minute. Let's go ahead and fill in the bills. So for my husband's motorcycle insurance, I budgeted $25. That's Progressive right here. We paid $21.52, so I'm going to fill that in there. For car insurance, I budgeted $180. That was our State Farm bill that came out at $174. And then the last of the bills here, Netflix, I budgeted $16, and that came out at $15.49. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe we came in under budget or right on the money in every one of our bills. I don't see anything here that is over budget, which is awesome. So really quickly, we'll go ahead and flip then to this week 4 section of my hybrid budget, and we'll fill in my variable expenses. So first up is grocery. We had $78.19 left in our grocery budget, and the amount we actually spent was $32.87. So that means we are going to come in under budget overall, which is awesome. I would not have come in under budget if it weren't for that little bit of tax money that I used on that last grocery trip of the month, but that's okay. I'm still technically under budget. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna call that a win. For eating out, we had nothing left and we spent $54.41. I think we are closing in on like $500 that we spent on eating out in February, which I know sounds absolutely wild. I'm gonna add everything up kind of at the end and fill that in. But we did have a memorial dinner for my sister, and that was, I want to say like $250 right off the top there. So we're still over budget, even if you kind of take that out of the equation, but not by quite as much. It's not nearly as bad if you kind of put that into perspective. So yeah, I'm still totally fine with that. For household, we had $21.09 left over, and we didn't spend anything this week, so we're good to go there. For gas, I had $119 left, and we only spent $39, so we are also good to go there. Miscellaneous, we had $56.14, and I spent $370. So some of this, where we kind of undershot our budget by a lot, will help offset that eating out. But I kind of made peace with the idea that I was going to be over budget in eating out quite a while ago, and I was okay with it. I made that decision that I was okay. So there's that. And then my husband got 40, I got 40, Austin got 20. So really quickly, I'm going to get a total for this just to kind of get a gauge for how much we spent in variable this week. $229.98. So let's go ahead then and figure out exactly how we kind of did for our overall monthly budget. So as I've mentioned throughout the month of February, as I've been filling in this hybrid budget, this is a worksheet that's available in my Etsy shop, by the way, if you're interested in trying out the hybrid budget method. It's just a budget method where you break things down both monthly and by week. It also has a place here to put in your savings, your debt payments, and your sinking funds totals. So it's really like all in one, everything on one 2-page spread. And that's what I like most about it. I can come back to this spread week after week. I have to look at how I did overall, and it works out really well for me. So essentially what I'm going to do is for each of my monthly categories here that are variable, grocery, eating out, household, etc., I'm going to go ahead and just start with what I had for the month, subtract out what I spent each week. Actually, what I think I will do is just add up what I spent each week and write that in the actual column, and then we'll kind of compare. So for groceries, for week 1, we spent $356.97. Week 2, we spent $181.16. For week 3, $133.68. And week 4, $32.87. So from our monthly budget, we spent a total of $704.68. I will double check all of my math kind of after I'm done here just to make sure everything's accurate, but if that's accurate, that means that we came in under budget for our groceries by $45.32, which is awesome. All right, moving on to eating out then. So $19.73 in week 1, $302.43 in week 2. That was the week we had my sister's dinner. $83.84 plus $54.41 is $460.41. So obviously $460.41 in a month for eating out is not ideal. It's not what we want. But as I mentioned, we did have that dinner for my sister, and we spent quite a bit there. And that's not something that happens every month. Obviously, you don't lose a loved one every month. So it's not nearly as bad as this in actuality. We just had that extenuating circumstance. But that means that we are over budget by $260.41. So overall, we're going to be over budget for the month, I think. I'm not sure that the areas that we are kind of under budget in are going to offset that enough. But again, I made peace with that sort of towards the middle of the month when this happened, that I was probably going to be over budget. If we kind of take that week out of the equation, I know that during this week there was some eating out that wasn't that dinner for my sister, but just for shits and giggles, let's add up just this eating out that we spent in the other weeks. 1973, 83, 94, 54, 41 was 158.08. So if we figure that $50 here was let's actually look at that expense tracker and find out. For that week 2, that was the 8th through the 14th, so we had, okay, so that dinner for my sister was just under $200. So we can take $200 essentially out of that equation. So if we say that 460, what was it? 460.41 minus 200, that meant we spent about 260.41. So we were still over that $200 budget even without that dinner, but not by nearly as much. And again, I'm okay with it. So I'm just kind of rambling now. Let's go with household next. So $99.61 plus $29.30 plus nothing, so $128.91 we spent in household. And that seems to be the way it kind of works every month. We kind of run out of our household items, toilet paper, paper towels, that sort of thing, and buy up a bunch of it all at once in the first week. There might be some other straggler like transactions throughout the month, but we tend to do like most of our household shopping right at the beginning of the month. So a big chunk of our budget gets spent right away, but even though that was the case, we still came in under budget overall by about $20, $21.09 to be exact. So for gas then, we spent $40 in week 1, nothing in week 2, 41 in week 3, and 39 in week 4. So we spent $120 total. So way under budget. That's what I like to see. Even though we have kind of come in way under budget in gas for the last couple of months, like this month, obviously we were $80 under budget. And if we look at January, we were under budget there as well, if I'm not mistaken. Just gotta find the hybrid budget here. Yeah, we spent $128.01 in January. So we're spending about $130 a month. But even though that's the case, I think I'm still gonna continue to budget this $200 because gas prices are gonna be going up. So I just wanna be prepared for that inevitability. Okay, so for spending, that was $400 just as anticipated. Every week I get 40, my husband gets 40, Austin gets 20. There were 4 weeks in the month, so $400. Miscellaneous, $497 plus $38.89 plus nothing plus $370. So $47.56, which is phenomenal. And then unbudgeted, I believe we had just one $10 unbudgeted expense. So we're gonna do savings and extra debt kind of separate because I haven't figured that out just yet. So I'm not gonna be able to fill this in Honestly, that's fine because it helps me to kind of keep my overall income private if I don't fill these in, so that's fine. We will have some savings and we will have some debt payments that I will kind of come back and fill in at another time. But our sinking funds here were exactly as planned. So I'm going to go ahead and put the actual totals in here. So overall, we didn't do too bad. We came in under budget in almost all of our categories, which is amazing. Like, can we just pat ourselves on the back for that? We came in under budget in a lot of our bills. We came in under budget in all of our variable expenses with the exception of eating out. So really, I mean, I can't even be mad at myself. I think that's phenomenal. I think February was an awesome month. We're going to be able to put some money into savings. We're going to be able to make some major debt payments. A lot of that's going to have to do with just lost my train of thought. Oh, that tax money. So nothing actually, I guess, from this budget is going to pay extra debt. All of the extra debt payments that I make are going to be from that tax money. So I suppose that means that no debt payments happened from our budget. And that's just kind of the way it worked. I'm going to roll over quite a bit into next month instead. Essentially because that tax money, I have that tax money and it's here. We haven't actually gotten our federal refund yet, but I do have that cash that I set aside. Because I have that, I'm going to use that to make the debt payment instead of this income. And this income that I have left then will roll over into March. So no debt payments, but we are still going to make a debt payment. Does that make sense? Or have I confused you? And then for savings, do I want to do that in this video? You know what? Let's go ahead and do that in this video. I'm going to go ahead and do my 50 envelope challenge. I was doing this every week, but I kind of cut out all of my other savings challenges. So I decided instead that I was going to continue this one, but I was just going to do it at the end of the month, and I'm going to pull 4 envelopes to fill then for the month. So really quickly, let's just go ahead and randomly pick some envelopes. We will do this one. I've got my eyes closed, by the way. I'm not cheating, I promise. Just gonna kind of mix them up. We'll do, these are all stuck together. We'll do this one. We'll do this guy. And we'll do this one. So let's see, what did we end up with? All right, so we're gonna do 15, 37, 13, and 20 for $85. So if you're not familiar, this savings challenge is actually saving money for my youngest son's car that we're gonna be buying here in a couple of years. So I'm just gonna actually write the envelopes down. So we had envelope 13, envelope 20, envelope 37, envelope 15, for a total of 85. And I will pull that cash out and get these stuffed momentarily. So that means $85 then went to savings. And I'll just keep that rollover blank to myself so that I don't give away kind of how much money we earned in February. Realistically, even if I filled that in, it wouldn't be a true snapshot of everything we earned in February because this does include some rollover, but I'm just going to keep that to myself. So let me go grab my cash and my binder for this and get these stuffed. And then I think what I will do is go ahead and wrap this video up, and I will do the sinking funds separately when I do my sinking fund cash stuffing, because this video is getting lengthy. So give me just a minute to grab my binder and my cash and we'll stuff these envelopes. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed my little binder. What I have been doing is just putting the cash into the envelope and then punching the envelope and sticking it here in this binder. So I did go ahead and grab the cash that I needed to fill these envelopes. It was kind of difficult to get the proper change I needed. I did not have any 5s to speak of, so everything is mostly in 1s, but I made it work, so that's good. We're just gonna go ahead and kind of stuff these envelopes. So $37 I need. So that's 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So that will be this one. And as I said, this money is getting kind of saved up over the course of the next couple of years. I'll do this 50 envelope challenge 2 years in a row, and that will help contribute toward my son's car. So we have a deal with our kiddos. They pay for driver's training. We pay for their car, which is a pretty good deal. I mean, driver's training is a couple $100s, and a car is obviously much more than that. They also are responsible for paying their car insurance. So obviously cars are expensive, so we need to start saving now. All right, then we have 20, so that will get a 20. $15. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And lastly, we have 13. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, friends, so that is kind of it for closing out my February budget, with the exception of my sinking funds, which, as I mentioned, I will cover in a separate video. So yeah, overall it was a really great month. This is all set. I can get these punched and put in here. I'm really excited for March, and you guys will see my March setup coming soon. So let me know in a comment down below how you did for February and how you think I did. I'm pretty pleased with it, considering everything that was thrown at me in February. The fact that we stayed under budget in almost all of our categories is phenomenal. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. All of my budget printals will be linked down below. Visit my Etsy shop. Use the coupon code YTFriend to take 15% off your order. I would appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.